Can you see it? I don't know why that piece of hair wants to do that. En français, c'est un petit couette. That's what it is. And I don't know. I'm gonna go water that down. Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am here to tell you about my night last night. But before I do, I'm gonna warn you that this video could be all over the place because I woke up feeling incredibly hungover, even though all I drank last night was water. Not even seltzer. Water. Just water. And a lot of it, I had to go to the bathroom many times. Just like in the drinking days. Some things never change. I know that the reason I feel like this, and I know some of you seriously believe that I'm back to drinking, but I'm not. I am not. I tell you guys, often that I feel hungover. It's due to lack of sleep. And I got home very late. And the lack of sleep, the fun that I had too much fun, okay? It's bad for you. So let's just start from the beginning. I was going to Hadley's pub in Memphis with Derek for a tribute to Pete Mandillo, who was the drummer for a group called Area 51, and he died recently in that actual pub. I don't want to get things wrong because I don't know all the details, but he collapsed after playing, and I think he was only 57. He was actually on Derek's podcast shortly before that, so I will link to that Rhythm Section podcast in the description of my video. I'll stick it on the end screen at the end of this video also. So that was really sad, but they were having a benefit for him, and Derek said that I would love the band. Oh my God, that was an understatement. Got ready, Derek picked me up, and we went, and we were supposed to have a table reserved. And for four of us, Derek, me, Jeff, and his wife, Susan. And I can remember her name because Susan is my middle name. I can remember that. And the table wasn't reserved. So it kind of started out like, just, ooh, we're going to have to stand all night. And we got there early, 7:30, and the band wasn't starting until 9. But it worked out. There was a table of friends, and we were able to switch off standing, sitting, taking turns. I even liked having turns standing up because I was just getting cramped, just being in the booth. And so it all worked out. And then as the night went on, it cleared up a little bit, and so we had other choices as to where to sit. And we got there, and I had decided that I was probably going to record throughout the night because it seemed, at the time there wasn't that many people, but I knew it was going to fill up. But I said, I'll record a little bit. And I did a little bit, and then I never recorded again because I was too busy enjoying myself. But I will show you a clip of my expression in the bar. But I'm taking the audio out because there's music playing in the background, and I don't want to lose monetization because of a copyright. So you're going to see a little clip of just me looking happy, and then you'll look at a clip of Derek, how he feels about being out with his mother. So incredibly special. But I absolutely love going out with him because he introduces me to people, and it just feels so good. So I'm going to explain a little bit as to how I actually felt about this night. First of all, the music. I can't even begin to think of all the songs. One stands out in particular, and when it came on, I could have just melted on that floor, and I'll talk about that one in a minute. First of all, the crowd in there is all I'm going to say older. I mean, I'm sure there's people there in maybe their 30s, 40s, but it wasn't 21-year-olds. And the band too, you know, they're not kids. Those of you who know me, you know that I partied back in the day, and the hangout, especially in the summer, was Old Orchard Beach, Maine. I lived in Sanford, Maine. We're at the very southern tip of Maine. And Old Orchard was a big attraction for the French-speaking Canadians from Quebec. They would just come and you know, take over that town of Old Orchard Beach, Maine in the summer. And there was bars everywhere, and there's amusements. You could go on a little roller coaster, Ferris wheel, just all kinds of things. You look it up, Old Orchard Beach, Maine. And it was around forever. And obviously it has changed a great deal over the years, and I haven't been there in a long time now. So we used to go party there in the summer, and I can remember going 4 nights a week many times, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, and just go to all the different bars, hear all the different bands. It was the 80s, and it was awesome. The showmanship, you know, the quality and talent of the bands, the whole thing. So I spent like way too much time doing all of that. When the music started last night, I told Derek, I feel like I've just been lifted, picked up, and plopped down into this bar 30 years later, and it's like it didn't skip a beat. I felt like I was right there in those olden days, listening to music that I absolutely loved, and it was just surreal because it's like, okay, we just moved from there to here, and the only difference is that we're all older. And the other big difference is that I'm not drinking. Derek either. So that's a big difference. But I was very happy to be going there knowing that I've already been out a few times not drinking, and that it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me to be around drinking people. I'm having so much fun just living life that I don't need the booze. So I was so incredibly happy. I mean, I just couldn't express it to anyone, just how happy I was to be there. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't. It was awesome. I just took a break to do some editing, and I noticed that there was a big chunk of nail polish missing from my thumb fingernail. So I said I'm going to cover that up so I get my nail polish and polish. It was a big chunk of butter. I got butter all over my nail polish thingy. I was like, what the fuck? So those of you who know, you know why there might be butter on my fingernails. So, but I better explain maybe, because that might sound weird. It's because I'm doing this high-fat carnivore way of eating for 6 months to test it, and so it's good for my mental health. Is it working? I polished butter. This video is going to take me all day to finish. I started at noon and it's 2:25 right now. I just went over to see my neighbor. She wanted to know about my night. She's 82, and she's very, very nice. And, you know, I am fortunate that I have her that I can talk to, even though sometimes it can go on a little too long. But anyway, I'm back, and I had to look at my own video to see where I left off. And yeah, I didn't really explain the butter. The butter was on my thumb because I had just cut a piece of butter to eat, as I eat just butter like that. And yeah, a piece of butter was on my fingernail. Okay, that's why the butter was there. I left off saying about, you know, just how much I enjoyed that night. recording is a big issue for me today. My head is just not with it. I'm all over the place. I'm scattered. A little backstory. I have a song that I absolutely love. I mentioned a little bit earlier in this video that I had to watch because I had no clue what I already told you. I almost mentioned to Derek on the way to the bar, I almost said something like, if I hear this particular song, I mean, I'll just die. I'll just die. This is a song that I used to hear in the bars back in the day. And there was this one group in particular who used to play a lot of the Old Orchard bars. Sometimes the groups would be like one weekend at this bar and then the next weekend the other bar and the next one. They would just do, you know, all the different bars, and with the other bands too, they would rotate. So if you had a band that you really liked, you could always find them at one of those bars. I can't remember the name of this band or to the guy that I became friends with, but he knew I loved this song, so he would always dedicate it to me, and I always felt so special. You know how that feels. And then when I started working at a particular bar as a cocktail waitress, yes, I was a cocktail waitress back in the day. Liked that, cocktail waitress and a bartender at several different bars. When they would play there, he would dedicate it to me and, you know, would remind people to tip your waitress. I used to fucking rake in the bucks. I mean, he was nice. And the song, I just loved it. And so we get to the bar. I don't tell Derek my story, and I'm sad now because it would have been such a coincidence that not only I believed, but Derek would have been like, Ma, you know, so, or he probably would have known that that song was coming up and he would have told me. But anyway, we're listening. I don't remember if it was the first set or the second set, but I hear the first few notes and I know instantly it's Highway Star by Deep Purple. Awesome, awesome song. And I was like, what? And now Derek could not really understand why I was so floored by this. Couldn't believe it. The only thing missing was it wasn't dedicated to me. It doesn't have to be. But I just always loved that song. I mean, I love the song, but I just always remember about that nice guy in the band who was just nice to me. And, you know, I wish I remembered his name. But anyway, they played that. And I was like, oh my God, I want to be dancing to this so bad. But I was like, it's okay. I'll be seeing this band again, I'm sure. There's plenty of time. So, you know, the dance floor at that point was still crowded. They hadn't moved the tables and stuff yet. So I just chilled and enjoyed the song. I just could not believe how incredibly good it was. Everything. These guys sing good, play good. It's just the good songs. It was just awesome. At some point, I will be dancing to Highway Star. I guarantee it. And if not, I'll at least grab a tray and start collecting tips. Now, let's get to this part. If you watched the video that Derek and I did about his ribbon cutting, you'll discover that there was an incident that involved me falling. So I will send you to that video if you want to go watch that. I will link to it in the description, and I'll also have that one on the end screen at the end of this video. He had a ribbon cutting, and after everyone was gone, I had taken Skylar back to school and then came back and to help clean up and stuff. Derek's friend Terry, she was still there, and Danny, the photographer, was still there. Hi, Danny. I sat in the room with them, and there was 2 stools, and I know somebody left a comment somewhere saying, why the hell did you climb a stool? I didn't really climb it. It's not like a big tall stool. I wasn't trying to be like acrobatic and doing stunts. It's just that the stool just started to fall forward, and I ended up on the floor. And Danny is the one who got up and picked me up. Derek never got up, and we still laugh about that. And I know, you know, some people were like mad at Derek in the comments saying, why didn't you get up? You know, I think Derek was just in shock, and he saw that I was getting help. You know, it's not like if I was alone with just Derek, he would have helped me. I mean, you know. So it's all good. It's all good. So Danny ended up helping me, and I felt like a complete fucking idiot. All right? There's just no other way to put it. At some point, I want to say it was before the band even started. I'm sure it had to be. Danny comes in because he's there to take pictures of the band. And, he comes up to our table. Danny knows everybody. He knows everybody in the bar. And he came up to us and we chatted a little bit and he was taking his pictures and stuff. And then at some point, again, I don't remember exactly when, he sat with us for a little bit and we were talking quite a bit and just having fun and talking about my videos because he watched the one that said I was going out last night. So he had a little bit of information and I was teasing him like, no, don't watch my videos, because it is very weird. And I will have to do a video about that. It's very weird to be meeting new people and talking about stuff that I'm doing around here, because now my stories involve, people who are pretty much still strangers to me, people hearing me talk about these things. It's just weird. It almost, makes me feel like I can't talk freely, because, I can't. Now, when I was in Maine, all the people I knew, I really wasn't in anybody's life anymore. I lived the life of a recluse with my mother. And, if I talked about friends, I didn't really name anybody. I don't know, maybe I did. I didn't even see people in the store. You can live in the same town for years with people that you grew up with and went to school with and just never see them. I don't know, it's just bizarre. So I really felt like I was, safe from all that. But now that I'm here in Mississippi and I'm meeting other people, it's a totally different dynamic. It makes it very, very hard to talk about things, which is why, I'm not really gonna name names. I don't know. I'm just going with the flow here. I'm just doing the best that I can. But I'm naming Danny's name because he was the photographer, and I will link you to his Facebook page because I just noticed he has a clip of the band playing Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb. I think it's just the guitar playing, and I don't think there's any vocals on that clip. But I'll have the link to his Facebook page in the description. So go check that out. And I don't know if he's going to be putting any pictures up of this, but I don't know. So just go check him out. I will link directly to that post so you can hear that clip. While we're chatting, Danny and I knew he had watched my video, and I always say in my videos how I would like to dance. And so I asked him if he liked to dance, and he said, yeah, he dances. So I knew there'd be some dancing in my future that night. But that might have been the second set. He was doing his photography and stuff, and so that set ended, and I told Derek, we're not leaving. I don't care what you say, because he wanted to most likely leave by the first or second set. And if I knew I was going to have a chance to dance a little bit, I was not leaving that bar. I don't care who it would have been who asked. I was staying. I would have gotten an Uber, let Derek go home. So Derek knew how much fun I was having and how important that night was to me. It almost makes me want to cry. I knew this would happen. And I'm very, very tired. I'm just an emotional wreck right now. Anyway, Derek knew how important it was to me. And I knew if I begged him to stay, he would be so okay with that. And I just knew that, I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave the band. It was just so good. And, it was life-altering for me. I just couldn't believe that after all these years that I could be in a place that I loved, hearing music that I loved, a song that I loved, a chance to dance, and just meeting people. I met the other people that we were with, so nice, so fun, so friendly. It was just such a good night. So, of course, he said he would stay, and then Danny and I danced a few times in the last set, and it was just so nice. It's getting late. I have to have different lights on. And every time I take a break, I have to rewatch the ending because I never know where I left off. And apparently I thought it was a nice night because I said that a whole bunch of times. Nice. This was so nice. So yeah, it was nice. It was more than that. It was just, again, and for people who are new to me, people that I've met last night and might be watching, I know some of you are, just the backstory is that I took care of my mother my entire life, and that job ended almost a year ago in March. She died in March of last year, which was 2022, and we're coming up on the 1 year in 2023, and I actually moved her to Mississippi because I knew I had to move here. I had to be near Derek. At the time, it was like I needed a support system, anything. I just needed somebody that I could talk to while taking care of my mother, who ended up being a hospice patient during our plans to move, and I still moved her as a hospice patient. It was all of 2021 was spent on preparing to move. It was the most stressful year of my entire life. I do not know how I got through it, but I did. And we got into this apartment. First, we had to stay a month with Derek because the furniture was never arriving. And to those of you who might be wondering why I dropped talking about that, there's a very good reason. You will find out in the future. I had gotten an apartment in Derek's complex, and we had to wait. And in about a month, we got the furniture, and I was able to move into our apartment. And that was at the beginning of December, the very end of November. And so my mother lived 4 months in this apartment with me. And then I went through a period of just, I just was completely lost. I had taken care of her, and it was not the best relationship. I'm not going to get into it here, but I have a whole channel on just that. It's called Growing Up Crazy. Don't watch it because so much has changed now. That's why this is so important to me. I suddenly have embraced the idea that I can still have a life. But it took a while. I was still, a few months ago, crying in my car on videos because I regretted how I wasted my life as a drunk and then as staying with someone in a toxic relationship and taking care of that person. I mean, I just was like, why? Why did I do all that? I should have left. But I did what I did, and now I'm doing what I'm doing. And after I released that last bit of anger, I started to heal. And it's at the same time that Derek started his podcast and started going out. So it just worked out that I was ready to start having a life, and he was suddenly in a position to have a life outside of working at home, because we both worked at home, and we're both workaholics. So suddenly, out of the blue, I feel better. He's doing this exciting thing, and it's like I was here to be able to experience that. Derek will never really understand how, by helping me to move here, that he not only changed my life, but he fucking saved it. He saved my life, and I don't think he'll ever understand that. And I didn't feel like that when I first got here because I was so far from home, and it didn't feel like home. And now I'm happy to say this feels like my home. It's exactly where I'm supposed to be. I made the right decision to move, to spend that entire year, 2021, planning this. And I mean, it was, I'll never understand how I did it, but I did it. And, Derek and Skylar helped to actually move my mother to Mississippi. We took her on a plane. She was almost 99. She was still 98. She was a hospice patient. And she made it, and we got here, and it was just like, I don't know. I don't even really like to think about it because it's so stressful to know what I went through, and I'm past that now. So I just want to look forward, and do other things. That's why, those of you who know nothing about me, that's why this is life-changing for me, to be just doing stuff. I can't believe it's me doing these things. I have to wrap up this video because I have a ton of editing to do and I would like this to be uploaded at some point today. So I will finish off by, again, explaining. I didn't mean to tell too many backstories, but I think it's important because I know some new people are watching, people who I will see again. So I just wanted to, try to give you guys an idea of what it is I've been going through. And I'm sure if you subscribe to this channel, you'll be learning a whole lot more. Please do subscribe. Oh yeah, I remember somebody saying last night they'd get me up to 200,000 subscribers. I was teasing him about my channel and telling him not to watch my videos. That would be Danny. But you know what? I should be up to 200,000 subscribers. I've been doing this for 8 years. So subscribe. Have your friends subscribe. Let's get me up there. I think I'm ready to say bye now. The next adventure I will be going on is supposed to be Neil's music room. Derek wants to take me there really, really bad. He said I will love it there. So I'm very anxious to go. I don't care who would be playing. Derek tells me I'm going out. I am going out. That's all there is to it. And I do want to, say hi to anybody that I met last night who happens to be watching this. It was very nice to meet you. I had a really nice night. I think that was quite apparent. Oh, and Derek and I will be doing another video together. And I know that's how some of you met me, through him and those videos that are on his channel. And I have an idea that I'm going to put together, and I think it'll be a funny video. I think you guys will like it. So subscribe to me, subscribe to Derek's channel. All the links are in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you made it through this entire video, I'll be back with more soon. Bye.